Let's go. Yeah, man. We cooking today, man. We cooking something today, man. We got something in the works for y'all today. All right, here we go. Here we go. Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, y'all? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations off the timeline and go beyond the tweets. I'm your host, Lowe's Def, and today I'm here solo rocking with y'all, man. This is episode 119. So if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the content, man. You know what I mean? Leave a comment. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Things like that. So, like I said, I'm going solo today. And if y'all see, man, I'm doing my best Levi Sparks impression, man. I'm wearing the shades inside. You know what I'm saying? Wearing my sunglasses at night and shit like that. But nah, man, you know, y'all see, man, I got a little color on me. You know what I mean? I've been outside, you know what I mean, enjoying this summer weather. Shout out to let me just give a shout out to Johnny Bessiker, man, of the BBAL. That's the Bessiker Basketball American League. And he was on my podcast last week. And man, has a real dope basketball league running out of Lancaster County. And it's just, it's dope, man. I've been there now like 3 different times. So I was there last Sunday. And that was the first time I wanted to kind of check it out. And then I did the interview with him on Monday. We got that episode out on Wednesday. And then this past weekend, I went to, they had an all-star event, right? Their all-star event was jam-packed, man. They had a one-on-one competition. Apparently they had some type of like underhanded free throw competition. I missed that. They had slam dunk contest, 3-point shootout. They had skills challenge. I missed the skills challenge, and I missed this underhanded free throw competition. But the one-on-one tournament, man, it was some heavy hitters in there. But of course, I mean, if y'all familiar with MJM Hoops, I mean, let's give a shout out to MJM Hoops and Markel, man, Hoodie Kel. He definitely took that, and I mean, there was no doubt in my mind that he was gonna be one of the front runners for that. And man, he's just, I mean, if y'all know anything about MJM Hoops, man, he really putting on for the 717 Lancaster County specifically, but they really have expanded nationally. And if you see his shorts, man, like a lot of people wearing these, like a lot of real hoopers are wearing these shorts. And he really showing out, man. So he won that. The Johnny Bessiker, you know what I mean, the guy that I had on, he won the 3-point shootout. But the first time I went, they had basically games inside. They were in some type of like rec center out in Lancaster County. And then Friday for the all-star events, I went to their normal playing court, which is outside, and this joint is really like his backyard. It really is in his backyard. This setup is immaculate, man. It's nothing that I ever seen before. It's probably the most relaxing time in terms of like watching some hoops, because you could pull up, with a little drink or something like that, and just kind of enjoy the vibes, man. And you could tell it's like a community, man. Like a lot of these guys are friends with each other. It is competitive, but like they having fun, man. And that's what it's all about, man, especially for like a rec league. And episode doing really well on Instagram in terms of the clips. All the clips are doing really well. And shout out to him, man, for just being a good collaborator and a good guest. And next year, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all gonna hear about the BBAL. If you in PA, you're gonna hear about that. That's gonna be a league that you're gonna want to get in. And I'm just I'm assuming already that next year it's gonna be bigger than ever. They had a dope little all-star game. They lowered the rim a little bit, like, you know what I mean? So guys was flying everywhere and things like that. It was fun. And then I went another night. It was on Sunday night. I went to go see some playoff action. So they had like 4 different games popping off. Real competitive ball, man. So I might have to come back the following week to just see what's up with these, the Final Four and then maybe the championship. I don't know if they're gonna play the championship right away. I gotta kind of contact him to see what that format is, but man, shout out to him and everything that he got going on. And like I said, man, I know people in the 717, hopefully they kind of got some notice to this. I mean, just being on the episode, y'all gonna be hearing about that, and you're gonna hear a lot of buzz because they talking about bringing new teams in. You might be able to come in with a whole team. I think you got to be committed though, because just for something like this to last, man, these guys do a good job of keeping stats, highlights, doing post-game interviews. And if you're gonna be in the league, you got to really commit, man. So but other than that, man, yeah, like I said, got a little color to me, enjoying the summertime, man. It's winding down. No, before you know it, it'll be back to school time, but we're not gonna get into that. We're gonna get into this episode though, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of things that's kind of going viral over the last week or so. We got a couple different cases, couple different fiascos going on, and then some little recaps on some content, man, like a TV show and then a movie, man, we're gonna talk about real quick. But so yeah, man, first things first, let's talk about Carlee Russell. All right, so here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I'm kind of glad, like when there's cases out there like this, whatever, it's one thing, like especially things that like really go viral and really go big. It's you want to stay informed, like, and what I do with the podcast, like I definitely want to stay informed and things like that. And I want to stay in the know of what's going on. However, sometimes it's best to wait. It's best to wait because if I would have even knew what this was from the beginning, I would have been pissed off by the middle of last week, whatever. I would have been real pissed off. I mean, especially if I would have been sympathizing with this woman. But if you don't know who Carlee Russell is, Carlee Russell has allegedly faked her kidnapping, right? So apparently she talked about how she was on some major interstate in Alabama, and she saw this little Caucasian little baby on the side of the highway, and she decided to like rescue this baby, and then afterwards she got kidnapped, right? She got kidnapped. And then I don't know, maybe the kidnappers supposedly let her go, and she miraculously showed up back at her house. And as the detectives and law enforcement, as they have been doing their research and investigations and stuff like that, they have found no evidence that she has been kidnapped, right? So and then if it seems like they said that her internet searches were weird, like she was looking up the movie Taken. She was looking up some weird stuff, like on like in her search history. And then like it seemed like she's trying to convince her parents of what's going on. I don't think the parents are a part of it. I think they thought something was going on with her, like most parents would. Most parents would, fear for their daughter's safety and just wonder, what's going on. But I don't think they really knew, but it feels like dragging them into it, like it makes them kind of look complicit and things like that. But I don't know, man. This is just a classic case of the girl who cried wolf, and I think the big conversation is I think if you were following this from the beginning, I think you probably were sympathizing with her, and you were saying like, oh my God, see, like, yo, they take, they're kidnapping Black women. They talk about ST, you know what I mean? That's another crime, ST. Y'all could use that. Think about that abbreviation, or think about what ST could stand for, because that's one of them demonetizing type words, whatever, that you can't really use on YouTube. But yeah, so like, you're worried about that type of stuff, abductions and things like that. But then like I said, like it's bad to like be the first one on some of these type of things, because if I would have reported this, I might have been on some like, yo, we got to find her, things like that. But if you just wait, sometimes if you just wait, especially when a lot of information is coming in, the truth always comes out, man. And it's just not looking good for her. I mean, looking like she's a bold-faced liar, looking like she might have some issues, with telling the truth. And she's living like a wild life, man. But the problem is with this though is the fact that there are a lot of Black women that, you know, bad stuff happens to, and their incidents are underreported, so to speak, like, and they aren't getting any national coverage about what's happened to them, and so forth. So for somebody to kind of make a mockery of the system and to, um I don't know if you're doing this for attention. I don't know if you're doing this because you got some type of issues for clout, whatever. You really are exhausting the needed resources for other people that are actually in danger, right? Like they looked for you, so to speak, you know, and I hopefully, man, hopefully something happens, man. Like, hopefully she's held accountable. I don't know what that means to be held accountable in something like this. I don't know if that means jail time, or what, but you can't go out there talking about, you know, you got kidnapped and you really didn't. So that's that. With that, what y'all think about the Carlee Russell thing, man? What was your initial reactions when you heard of it? Were you sympathizing? Did you, when you saw it? Because some people, when they first saw it, they was like, "Oh, this is cat. Like, this is cat from the rip." Like, they already knew, like, no, this can't be. And because I don't know, man. If I see some little baby on the highway, I don't know. I mean, a little baby on the high. First of all, how fast are you going on the free? Like, if this is a real interstate highway, because even if it's one of them like business route highways, you know what I mean, you still probably going at least 50, 45, 50 miles an hour. Like I'm gonna assume that like that baby, it belongs to somebody that's right by them. But I'm not just helping out, you know. I don't know, man. Maybe I don't got a soul or whatever. But again, it's hard to even put yourself in that shoes because she's lying. So it's like to even think like, oh, would you help a little baby? Would you, if you were in her shoes? Well, the thing is, she wasn't even in her shoes. You know what I mean? That's the problem with something like this. So I'm not even gonna play that hypothetical game. But I would hope that if there was a little baby that, you know, looked like me, looked like, relatives of mine, you know what I'm saying, like that, hopefully I would do the right thing and help out. But I don't know, man. Like, that's not my business, man. Like, sometimes you gotta just stay out of the riffraff, man. You cannot be just inserting yourself. And they tell you that too, like urban legends type stuff. Like, if you see something and somebody needs help on the side of the road, like, don't stop and help them, because, you know what I mean, like, you could call for help, you could call 911 or something like that, but don't get out your car, because that's what happens. Like, you get the okey doke, somebody hit you beside your head, now you're in the back seat, and you going to another country or something like that. So another woman that is going viral, or at least, you know, at least YouTube viral type things, for the wrong reasons, I would say, is Eboni K. Williams. Now, a couple months ago, people kind of took Eboni K. Williams to task because she was talking about not wanting to date basically like blue collar men. And thing is, a lot of people were mad about that. I wasn't so mad about it because I knew who Eboni K. Williams is, and she was, at one point in time, she was a lawyer. She's been on reality TV. She has media. She's been on different like media platforms, like major media platforms, getting paid, you know, some like broadcast journalist type stuff. And very smart woman, you know what I mean, attractive woman. But she got in hot water earlier this year because she talked about how she would not date like a certain type, like blue collar work, a bus driver or something like that. Like, no, I want to date the guy that owns the buses. Well, okay, whatever. I mean, she's allowed to have her preference, but I think people took it as, especially when she kept talking, they took it as like, um, you know, she was making as though Black people are victims of their circumstances, and that's how, and they live in that victimhood and like kind of rise up, which that can be a good message. You know what I mean? There's other people that kind of preach that same type of message, but you know, it didn't endear her with a lot of people. So what she was on, so shout out to Anton Daniels, the Anton Daniels Morning Show. That's a YouTube channel. And you know what? I like how he approaches certain things, because he has overall, like, some of his ideologies are definitely like opposite of mine. I wouldn't say everything, and I don't, you know, I can't, you know, we could break that down another time if he, you know, something happens with him. But I watch his show sometimes, and yeah, he was watching it. And he cut his stream off. Like he did not even want to keep talking about or entertaining it. But what Ebony K. Williams is doing is she was on a network that she's a part of, and she was basically promoting, it felt like she was promoting single motherhood and advising women to go freeze their eggs and to go to sperm banks, right? So they can, end up having a kid later down the road, whatever. But it felt like she was, for somebody that I don't even think she has kids, but she was in a situation like she was married at one point in time to a man that had kids. Um, and obviously that is the dilemma with women. Like women got to decide, like a lot of women, like regular women have to decide if they're gonna really pursue their career or they're gonna be like that full-time mom, because it's hard to really do both. So she's a lifelong career woman, still doesn't have kids, and things like that. But she's basically saying like, hey, that's a possible. It didn't sound like it sounded like she was like presenting it like as a possibility, but then but it seemed like she was like promoting it almost like, hey, this is a choice that you can make, like almost making it seem okay, because like what woman wants to be a single mom? Like I know women, sometimes their pride gets ahead of them, and they get upset like with a man that don't want to be with them, and they might be like, well, I'll raise this baby on my own. They still don't want to do that. They don't want to do it if they don't have to do it. They're gonna do it because they got to get shit done. But it sounded like she was promoting it. And the thing is, the conversation is not even bad to have if it's a dialogue, right? Like, why don't you talk to somebody that is in that field, that is works in that industry, um so they can kind of relay the information. But like when you're doing a monologue and this is what you're talking about, it just seems like, yo, you're all about this, you know what I mean? And it's not something that we should necessarily be all about. It's something that we should uh you know take precaution. Obviously everybody can't everybody not gonna get married and live happily ever after, but why are we exasperating the problem? We don't want more single women out here. We don't want more single mothers out here in society, because the statistics show all type of bad stuff when it comes to that. So I don't know what type of time she's on. Anton thinks that she's just kind of clout chasing, trying to be relevant. I don't really know what the deal is, and it just, like I said, it just don't make sense to me. So um, but yeah, that's that on that, man. What y'all think though, man? Like you do y'all think that women should explore that option to be a single mom, you know, do artificial insemination and things like that if they really want to be mothers? Or, what I mean, should they just kind of wait? Should they kind of wait for a good situation to come along and to build a family the natural way if they possibly can? I don't know. It's not my choice to make for anybody, but it's wild though. It's wild. So, all right. So we're going to share this video in a second, but, so before we get into it, because we're going to share this news report, whatever, but Mississippi rapper Superstar Pride. Yeah. I mean, y'all might know him from the song Painting Pictures, whatever. Hey mama, don't worry. You raised gangster. I'm a survivor. Yeah, I mean, like that joint, that was a hit. Like, I mean, came out I don't know exactly when it came out, but it came to a lot of people's attention earlier in 2023. I used it as like a promo. I used it in some promo for a guest. I think it was episode like 99, 98. I used it, and I looked at that song as like kind of like an anthem for guys that was in the streets, whatever, and like kind of turning over a new leaf. That's how I kind of looked at it, because when you hear the song, it sounds like it's like a Boys to Men a sample or something like that. It's like like that's like the melody, whatever. And I thought it was a dope song. I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? It's hard giving these young rappers a chance nowadays, because there's another reason on the back end, but like, sometimes they just, they might not be saying too much. They might sound like everybody else. He didn't sound like anybody. Like, he sounded like himself, you know what I mean? That original sound, like original, it felt like very original content. Well, this dude is crashed out, man. This dude's crashed out, and he is wanted. Well, he's now He's in custody right now for first degree murder charge after he gunned down a 40-year-old barber that apparently was his barber, right? Right in front of this barber's grandma, right in front of his guy's grandma. So let's get the report here so we can kind of comment. We can give a little reaction to what actually transpired here in this tragedy, man. So this is crazy though. This is really crazy. Here we go. All right. So we're gonna share this, man, this news report. We're gonna get all the facts, and then, like I said, we're gonna react to it afterwards. All right. Let's make sure we're sharing the sound for y'all so y'all can hear it. Sharing the sound. Make sure it's high definition. There we go. Okay.
Soft-hearted person he did.
A rapper from Panola County is behind bars charged with murder. WREG's Mike Sirianni spoke with the victim's grandmother who witnessed that shooting.
He was a real soft-hearted person. He did whatever he could to help anybody. He was a really nice person.
Mary Ann Strong is the grandmother of 40-year-old Marcus Wheatley, gunned down Wednesday behind his mobile home where he was a barber. Strong says she saw Kadarius Pride, a.k.a. Superstar Pride, the man charged with Wheatley's death, enter the mobile home, heard loud voices, and saw an armed Pride chase her grandson out of the mobile home.
And the young man was following him, shooting at him, and he finally shot him down.
Strong ran to this field, and she watched in horror as Pride continued to fire at her grandson.
He fell here. He shot about 3 times after he fell. And he walked over to me, and he pointed the gun at me and asked me if I was going to tell it.
She says she had no idea what Pride meant, but she says he wasn't finished.
And he came back out here and fired a last shot in his head.
She says Pride left in his red pickup truck, later found abandoned in Pope, Mississippi. He later turned himself in to the Panola County Sheriff's Office. Pride's father could offer no reason for what his son allegedly did.
You know, it's still just something that's got to be looked into and to see what all transpired. You know, as of now, it's just so early.
But Mary Ann Strong believes the shooting resulted from Wheatley's refusal to take part in one of Pride's music videos in California.
He wanted Marcus to follow him, and Marcus couldn't do it. He couldn't help him make more money.
In Panola County, Mike Sirianni, WREG News Channel 3.
All right, so what the heck? Yo, so you know, what I mean, we got this guy. He's 21 years old. So he's 21 years old. And you know, what I mean, budding star. You know, what I mean, I think it's funny because as I was watching a lot of different like reactions to this on YouTube, a lot of the reactors, they were like, I mean, I'm not that familiar with him, whatever. Now, I'm not going to say I know his discography, whatever, but I didn't hear the song on TikTok. That song made it to Rap Caviar. It was on Spotify, and then it was trending on social media and things like that because you could use the sound and it was like a trending sound, right? But I guess it was big on TikTok. You know, he went popular for his little haircut. It's like I call it like the like a ghetto mullet or something like that. I mean, a hood mullet or something. It's kind of nasty. Like looked like a fade mostly, and then it's just like this patch at the top that's just like really long and looking crazy. But you know what I mean? Like I mean, you on Rap Caviar, you know what I mean? And it was steady on that playlist for a while. I feel like, you know what I mean, you kind of have made it to an extent. Now, typically, man, when we got crime like this, man, it has to do with money. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, for you to want to have to do something like this, a lot of times it does have to do with money. But and some people like think, oh, well, he's a rapper, you know what I mean? He has chances to get money. He might not be making that much money from rap music. However, when you have opportunity in front of you, you know what I mean? It's best to kind of like, you know, you got to handle that a different way, whatever. But I don't know what that guy could have done. I know the grandma said that like he didn't want to go with him to help him make some money. Now, even if this guy owed him some money, even if he did owe Superstar Prize some money, like, bro, you definitely ain't getting it back if you kill him. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a wild story because he did that in front of that man's grandmother. And it seems as if, like, when I was hearing other stuff, it seems as if that guy is his barber. Now, I don't know about y'all. The relationship that you have with your barber is sacred. You know what I'm saying? Every man knows that, whatever. Like, I don't know. There's nothing that my barber probably could do that would make me run into his house and fire at him, and then especially in front of his grandma. And that's just a wild thing too. And it's just crazy because it just feels like a lot of these young rappers, man, they just be crashing out, man. They just do whatever. And I don't know what it is. I mean, he has a father. Like, his father, they were able to find his dad to an extent that they could interview him. So it's not like, and his dad didn't look like he was fiend out. His dad looked like he was, just good shape, like good. He was in good standing, so to speak. So, like, you have a father in your life, you have a mother possibly in your life because you rapping about her in your songs, unless she passed away or something like that. Which not that much information has come out with that. However, what's causing you to make these like super bad decisions? You know what I mean? And then on top of that, to gun somebody down in front of a relative, especially an elder. And it's funny because I was watching this YouTube reaction on this, and it's from some guy named the Angry Man. And, a lot of times when we talk about stuff like this, like these kind of tragedies, everybody talks about like a street code, so to speak. It's like, oh, yeah, I mean, like, these guys don't live by a code. They, you know what I mean? They're doing reckless things. We don't harm women and children, things like that, right? However, even though all those things are right, two things can be true. I think we just got to stop talking about how, like, when a rapper does something that's like street or hood or, you know what I mean, something like that, we got to stop. Like, we're almost coddling these guys and defending them when we say stuff like, oh, but that's the streets, man. That's just the streets. Because yeah, I mean, these are people that have some type of notoriety or whatever. So they have the opportunity to be off of the streets if they really want to be. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when we talk about the code and things like that, I feel like in a roundabout way, we're trying to promote people to do crime better. You know what I mean? Instead of it not being, an issue at all, it's like we're trying to promote loopholes and figure out how people can just get away with crime altogether. And that's not the message that I think most people want to send. I don't think we want to condone like certain actions like this, but it's just a crazy situation, man. I just can't imagine. And then the first thing that what he's worried about if the grandma's going to quote unquote snitch on him. Well, it's an ongoing investigation, and she went on the Channel 5 News to talk about, what was going on. So she ain't worried about nothing like that, whatever. I mean, he's probably gonna get some type of charge for pointing a gun at her. And then to kind of make matters worse, I mean, you already shot him a couple times. And I mean, you go back and you give him the headshot for good measure. So I don't know, man. I don't know what was going on in this guy's mind, but a lot of people felt like, he was on his way, so to speak, and we don't know how far he would have got here in the rap game, but we will never know at this point. Now we'll never know because he threw his life away, man. He threw his life away. I just don't know what kind of money situation is gonna make me, gun somebody down in that fashion, so to speak. It's just weird, man. So let's move on, man. Let's move on to another young boy that's crashing out, but his future's still in the balance, man. His future is still in the hands of the legal system. And I don't really necessarily, condone, what this guy, I don't condone what this guy is alleged to do. But I'm talking about YMW Melly, and YMW Melly, they had a mistrial. So it's weird because, this case started, the case started in like 2017, like the whole crime. The trial started in 2018, October 2018, circa October 2018. And so we're going on almost 5 years and we still don't have a verdict. Now, if y'all don't know about YMW Melly, he is charged with the homicide of two of his friends, and the prosecution is alleging that he staged this drive-by shooting, right? So I mean, when it comes to that type of stuff, I don't know what to believe, who to believe, so to speak. But it seems like when you look at the facts, which we're not going to share all these facts here. This is not a legal aid podcast of any sort. But when you hear the information, it just seems like he definitely probably has something to do with it at the very least. There was a cell phone. Then they're talking about, well, anybody uses that cell phone. That's like almost like the community burner. Well, how convenient that you got some type of burner cell phone that everybody uses. So, but what's next? So mistrial. Now, most times when I've heard of mistrials, I was thinking like automatically when I read it, I said, "Oh snap! They about to, like is he free?" And then a lot of people say, "Nah, they'll probably just try him again. They'll try him again." So there are instances when a mistrial leads to full exoneration, and it's usually when the prosecution makes some type of major mistake. Maybe they suppress evidence or something like that, and they're convicting people on like a false pretense. That's the only time that I've seen mistrials for the most part. But when you have like a hung jury where they can't reach a unanimous decision, basically what it means is that they are gonna literally try him again, and he's gonna have to go through the court system, and he's probably gonna get a brand new jury and things like that. So like we don't know what this is gonna turn out for him, how it's gonna turn out. But it's not looking. I don't know. His mom was on Instagram celebrating. Basically, her narrative is that there were 9 non-guilties and only 3 guilties, which I think, if anything, with a case like this would be kind of flipped around, and he is possibly facing the death penalty. So yeah, but when you think about him, it's just crazy. Even the song, and I don't know why young people are kind of into him. I don't know if it's the melodies. I don't know if they like that. They like hearing rappers talk about some like things that they probably did, right? You know what I mean? And if y'all think he's so real, then most likely he probably did do it, because he's thrown the fuck off. So we'll kind of see how that transpired, but I don't think he'll be out anytime soon. His mom, talking on social media the way she is, she could be harming his chances. I don't know if she could do that. I don't know if it will, but she could be harming his chances, and that's not, I know what she wants, man. She's talking about God is working, and in the comment section, people was like, "You got a demon on your son is a demon." So I don't know why you gonna put God into this stuff. So, what y'all think, man? YMW Melly, what y'all think about his trial? Do you guys think that, if they try him again, that he's gonna finally get off, or can they not prove what's going on, or I don't know, or do we have like a super sympathetic jury? I'm not too sure. So let's move on, man. We got a couple things to end the show with, man. A couple different TV shows and or movies. So we got a dope show on Netflix, man. Called Survival of the Thickest. And I actually put this on just to kind of passively watch it. I didn't even think that it was going to be nothing that I wanted to see. But I was like, all right, it's comedy. I needed something to watch. So I put it on, man. And yo, I think her name is Michelle Buteau. And I've seen this woman. She's like light-skinned black woman. And I've seen her just in like random stuff. I never seen her like in any acting roles that I can remember. But man, this is a dope little show. 8 episodes. I already can't wait for season 2 to come out. And it just hit very close to home to me, man, on different levels. And I would say this is a must-watch show, but basically I'm gonna give you the premise. This woman, right? She's a fashion designer in New York City. And one of the things too, the premise is, she's a plus size black woman, and she catches her fiance or boyfriend cheating on her. Like she walks in, like, and now I don't know, man. Cheating is obviously bad, but that got to be the worst form of cheating. Like the walking on you while you doing something cheating, like that has to be the absolute worst thing that you can experience as a human being. Like that has to be like a top three bad experiences to witness. Like your spouse cheating on, like walking into your spouse cheating on you, right? So that, and then basically the show is about her trying to figure out her love life and trying to figure out her life in general, right? So obviously, like if you've been in any kind of breakup in the last, year or so like that, or anything like, or even just in your lifetime, that story is gonna kind of hit close to home. And I think obviously for a woman perspective, it's gonna hit close to home. But I think even for men, like there's certain aspects where maybe even you put yourself as that man, whatever. But like there's certain aspects where you can kind of take like, dang, this is deep, man. And there's also like she has a male friend who is dating a woman that has a child, and so she's co-parenting and like just kind of dealing with that. Like, so what's that like when you deal with somebody that is a parent, whether they are dad or mom? How do you kind of go about doing it? But one of the themes that they talk about though in this show is this idea that cheating is forgivable. So I don't know, maybe we could put a poll up or something. What do you guys think about cheating as it pertains to it being forgivable? Is cheating a forgivable offense? Is cheating a forgivable offense? Now, my friend Johnny is my girl. She's definitely subscribes to this idea that men do get cheated on all the time, like a lot more than we think, and they stay a lot more than we would assume that they do. Now, I don't got it, man. I don't got the patience for it. You know what I mean? Now, you know, is it cheating if they didn't find out? You know what I mean, it is, but it's technically not. So like if I don't, I mean, I'm saying this on the premise of me not finding out. You know what I mean? So but if I were to find out, yeah, I don't know if I could, and especially a walk-in. Man, you walk into your crib, you know what I mean, and you hear weird noises and you go upstairs and somebody's with your woman, like, nah, that type of stuff. That's the type of stuff that men are talking about when we say that, women get guys in situations. It'd be stuff like that. Like, it's like, what the heck? But yeah, man, is it forgivable? Because she's kind of faced with that ultimatum a little bit. Like, obviously in the beginning she don't want to forgive him, but trying to figure it out, like she's just wondering, like maybe, this person has everything that I need in my life, and I don't need to go anywhere. And then with the other subplot with the guy with the co-parenting thing, man, so this is something like I've been a co-parent for a little while, and I've dated some women, but like there weren't many, only one that got the opportunity to kind of meet my son. But like when I look back on it in hindsight, I fucked that shit all up because obviously my co-parent, right, my counterpart, she did not want to, she was not interested in like meeting the person that I was dating or anything like that. So that was a barrier. But the reason I say I fucked it all up is because like really should have had like some type of meeting, what I mean, where it's like, not only do you know this person exists, not only are they meeting our son, but I'm including you into the process, all together. I want, what I mean, and you have to meet his mom, so to speak, and that's kind of what happened with him. He had to meet the dad, and it was a very off-putting kind of situation for him, because the dad was like kind of flexing on him and talking about his career and things like that, and trying to really clown him and trying to really bump him down a peg. that's what I wouldn't want though. Like if there was ever a co-parenting situation where I'm ready to introduce my kid to this person, I definitely wouldn't. I don't think you can tolerate any kind of like side talk or anything like that, or any kind of belittling. And I don't know if women would probably do that. I think that's probably like a male ego type thing. But it was a little messy. But yeah, check that out, man. Survival of the Thickest. And when I finished it, I was like, damn, man, I finished this joint. Like, I really want to watch more episodes. So we'll see when that comes back out on you know, season 2, when season 2 comes back. And the way it ended, I believe there is gonna be a season 2. So I'm buckling up, man. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. So last thing before we go. So I didn't even know this movie came out this past weekend. I didn't know for sure what the date was that it came out, but I went, it was last Saturday. It was, and I went to go see Oppenheimer. And, a lot of people were talking about, like, I've been hearing about this movie for a long time, and they're saying, like, to get the best experience, you should watch it on IMAX, right? And now IMAX, that's, a special big theater or whatever. You got to get, special tickets for that. They cost a little bit more than a regular movie showing. But all the IMAX theaters were like kind of booked. All right. Like, or they didn't have any, like they were just like overbooked. They were sold out. So went to go see the movie in, just a regular theater. And I thought it was dope. I thought it was really dope. And it's crazy because it was definitely an awesome biopic, right? And I like when I could watch a biopic and I feel like I learned a little piece of history, because what it does is it makes me go back and try to research, well, what the heck was this situation? What was that situation? And you'd be surprised, like, especially when somebody has a riveting story, how accurate even like the biographers are, and how accurate the movie is to what's going on in that kid's life. So Oppenheimer, it is about the man who is considered the father of the atomic bomb. So J. Robert Oppenheimer, American physicist. He went away for a while, came back and brought quantum physics to America. And basically this movie is like it's a race against, it's because this happened all during like World War II. So this is a race to see what country can come up with like a nuclear warhead that would essentially destroy, that would cause mass destruction. Weapons of mass destruction. Like, we were trying to figure that out and build one. So I thought it was dope how they did that. You have like characters that make appearances like Albert Einstein, or somebody played Harry S. Truman, the president. And I thought it was dope. And it was long though. This is what I'll tell you. It was long. It was 3 hours long. So I don't recommend a movie like this if not for the faint of heart. I don't recommend this movie for you. However, I had no problems. I don't do 3-hour movies. I don't. Now it's crazy because I will watch 3 hours of a 1 hour long show. And a lot of times they don't be an hour. They might be like 45 minutes. But I could get, I could do that kind of I could do that kind of sitting and watching. So I could do that. I can tolerate that type of thing. But when I think about the other 3-hour movies that I've been in, and it's like, Avenger movies and stuff like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I like some superhero movies if they're done right, if they're built up right. But when I'll be watching the Marvel movies, the problem is obviously there's action. There's no, like, I don't know. There's not enough plot for me. Like, it's just like, all right, kill the bad guys, or get this stone so you can kill the bad guys, or whatever, some of these Avenger movies was about. But there's no like actual character development at all. Like, these characters kind of just exist. And you know, they have a lot of scenes that are very cinematic, right? They're literally painting pictures. You know what I mean? You know, Superstar Pride, that's what we call a callback, right? So literally they try to make these movies very scenic, and that's my prime time to go to sleep. Like if you don't have nobody talking in the movie, and it's like a lot of dead silence, and I gotta, like, you know what I mean, you know, just kind of like maintain, I'm going to sleep, whatever. But Oppenheimer, all those 3 hours, there was so much dialogue. It was so rich in dialogue, so rich in conversation, so rich in like the history, that it was like, yo, this guy, you know what I mean, like he had a nice life, man. Like he had, well, not a nice life, like yeah, it makes you really feel like, you know, you're walking with this man, and kind of realizing what he had going on. Now, I think the reason why people wanted you to watch it in IMAX, but I think this was a big marketing gimmick. However, so when they were doing the atomic bomb, and you know, it's the Manhattan Project. So if you ever heard of the Manhattan Project, that's what this guy was a part of. He was like the main guy of the Manhattan Project. And there's a big explosion that's like real, like that uses a real life nuke or something like that, or some type of crazy thing that they try to say. And it's called the Trinity test. Now, this is something that happened in real life, right? They were trying to, you know, test out, you know, this warhead before they actually use it as a warhead. So, you know, you get this big, beautiful explosion. Now, I don't know if in IMAX it would have captured it better, but like I didn't feel like it wasn't anything to me that was like super, I don't know, it wasn't nothing that was like super like out of the ordinary. Like it was a big explosion, but it wasn't something that like I would brag about. So I think they definitely marketed that well to get people to come to the movies. But overall, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. The reason I give it a 9 out of 10 is because although the character development is really good, I feel like they they try to jump around a little bit too much into certain things, and it made me have questions where I'm like, this person's not even that important. So yeah, so I give the movie a 9 out of 10. But like I said, there were just certain plot points when they were talking about his life where you're just like why do I need to even know this person? Like or what happened afterwards? Like they don't give you a lot of aftermath, so it's kind of tough, like for some people to follow. But I can watch a 3 hour. Like I realize this: if they're talking and you gotta see, you know, you gotta listen and to what they're saying, like because the dialogue is so important. I think I could watch a 3 hour movie. I could watch one, man. It's like I said, it's those dead silences that kind of like make me like, oh, okay, and then I just pass out and go to sleep in the movie theater. Really comfortable, man. Going to sleep in the movie theater is a very comfortable thing. If you're a fan of what's the actor's name in there? His last name Murphy. If you're a fan of Christopher Nolan, you know the director from the Batman movies of the last 15 years. That Christopher Nolan, like if you like him, then I think you're gonna like a movie like this. It's just like we said, like it's just a very long movie. And one thing that was ironic is this was the release date of the day that Oppenheimer came out was the same day that Barbie came out. And you know, when I'm in the movies, I'm seeing like extended trailers or different kind of trailers. I actually would go see the Barbie movie. Like I would actually see it because I want to see like what they did in terms of like bringing her to life, and just there's probably like a lot of like internal jokes that you gotta like really be paying attention to kind of understand or kind of have like a frame of reference, because there's probably kids that want to see the Barbie movie that aren't going to get the jokes, but like I think as an adult you're going to realize like, oh, okay. I mean, live your life. I mean, but what y'all think though, man? What y'all think about this week? What y'all think about this week's episode? I think we kind of kept this one somewhat short. And you know, we rocking out, man. We gotta think about some new guests, man. We gotta think about you know, things that are going on. keeping up with some things that are going on. So summer is winding down, and hopefully, man, y'all was able to get to a beach this summer at some point in time. Hopefully y'all was able to unwind, spend some time with your kids. For me, you know what I mean, like I said, that's been an important thing, being with my kid, going to Hershey Park, supporting him in his endeavors. He's a swimmer. My son is a swimmer. And like I said, man, hopefully y'all having a great summer. If you're still watching the podcast, man, I need you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And yeah, man, leave us a comment. What do you think, man? We'll go back. Have you seen Oppenheimer? Have you seen the Barbie movie? Do you want to see those things? Survival of the Thickest. Is cheating forgivable? The YMW Melly Trial. YMW Melly, like, it's do you feel like he's gonna get off? Do you feel like what do you think the outcome is gonna be? Was Eboni K Williams promoting single motherhood, and what do you think about her suggestions about sperm banks and artificially inseminating yourself? Is that something that women should be aspiring to do? And then Carlee Russell, man, don't call me until y'all know what's going on, man. Don't call me in the middle of it, because I ain't got time for people to be trying to give people the okie doke, right? And that's what she basically tried to do. So crazy world out here. It's vicious, it's nasty, man. Y'all need to stay safe. Y'all need to stay cool, stay out of people's business. And this is another episode of the 280 Plus podcast. I'm your host, Los Def, and I'm out.